What's cracking? So, this is how I increased my bench by 10 kilograms in 5 weeks. So in that time, I took my bench from 110 kilograms to 120 kilograms. And I did it using this one thing that I always do to increase my bench. During this period of time, the sessions were only about 30 minutes, half an hour. And I was just chilling, I was living life, I wasn't even training too intensely, and I didn't even care that much about what I ate. It was just big time chilling. So, the biggest things that I did for this are high frequency training coupled with proper intensity of sets. So, top sets, as I call them. So, and exercise specificity, if you want to say 3. So, that first one, high frequency training. What I do for my high frequency bench training, I've done it before more structured in my last cut, and that was 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would do my pressing or my push sessions, and that's because I was focused on growing my chest as well as increasing the strength of my low incline dumbbell press. So that came first every session, 3 days a week, and there's just a day rest in between each one, with the third one in the week having a little bit higher volume so that I can come back around that way. And that feeds into point number 2 with the top sets. So high frequency means that you can't do the same volume in a session because you haven't got as much time to recover. Chest in particular can be a little bit slower to recover because it's quite big. Take from that what you will. So what I did was basically reduce the volume to make it really easy. In my last cut, I did 2 sets per exercise, like 2 big or top sets or 2 top sets, and 3 exercises per session. That's it, with big rest in between. So that's what a top set is. That was like a 7 to 15 minute rest in between sets, and that was around my minimum. So 7 minutes was an ideal minimum I found for me. If I go too high and go like more than 15 minutes, then it diminishes the quality of my set after that rest. So I do my warm-up stuff, which is that specific exercise, and then I would smash a top set, and that's where the intensity side of things comes in, which is where you push one set to absolute failure or real true 1 RIR. And for these ones, I was pushing them to failure, basically. To failure, to just before failure. So I'd like squeeze out that very last rep, which means absolute highest intensity. You're going to give your everything to this one set, and then you're going to take a big rest and then do another one. That's what a top set is. So that's really pushing it, and you can only really get that and really hit your muscles true contractile capacity by giving it enough rest. Otherwise, you're stopped in a set more so due to fatigue than you are your muscles' maximum contractile capacity. That's what I call it. At least other people might have a different word for it. So that's basically pushing as hard as you really can for that set, and the long rest allows you to not be limited by fatigue of a shorter rest period during a set. So that's those are the first 2 things. High frequency and top sets to account for the volume and having a high intensity. And the third and final thing was exercise specificity. So what I did was basically, back with that first one, if I wanted to improve my low incline dumbbell press, that's the first movement that I did. And during that period of time, I took my working sets with low incline dumbbell press from the 37.5 kilogram dumbbells to the 52.5 kilogram dumbbells for the low incline dumbbell press. So that was a pretty solid one there. So picking the specific exercise that you want to improve on, putting it first, and having most of the session emphasize that would be the way to go. And that's because I want to get good at that movement. That's where a lot of strength comes in, because strength is a skill. It's neuromuscular, so strength can be trained at higher frequencies, but the volume has to be dialed back as a result. And then those neurological adaptations, basically your body learning to coordinate that specific movement, that will improve with more frequency. So that's that side of things. So that is how I did that. And focused on that one there. Now for this time round, when I did it in 5 weeks, and I went from the 110 kilogram bench to 120 kilogram, and that was like 3 rep max, or sets of 3, a set of 3. Obviously the focus for that was the flat barbell bench press instead. because I just wanted to work on that one and have a bit of fun with it. So that's what I've been doing. That's been a big focus in my training as of late. So that's what I've done there. Hit the flat dumbbell press, and each session is about 30 minutes because I only do 2, at most 3 sets, or have been doing during that period of time, 2 at most 3 sets, and then chill, and then rest one day, hit it the day after, and just doing it that way. My bench came up very quickly that way there. And obviously there are a lot of adaptations to be had with that high frequency training. I find that I respond really well strength-wise to high frequency training, and I really enjoy it because this is something I didn't mention before. Reps-wise, my rep scheme was before the first cut with the incline dumbbell press focused high frequency stuff. That was 5 to 7 reps was my rep range. And then for this period of time, taking the bench from 110 to 120 kilograms, that was more of the 2 to 7 rep range, 2 to 7 or 8 rep range. And that was a big thing there because that meant that all of the effort that I was putting, actually no, it was like 2 to 6 reps with the 10-minute rest around thereabouts in between. And that means that all of your reps are really strength focused, and then it can really help with that density, maximum muscle fiber recruitment. I know that's a bit of a bigger term there by way of the higher intensity, and then it also helps with the skill side of things, those neuromuscular adaptations. So yeah, that's what I did there. Took it from 110 to 120 for sets of 3, and for a set of 3. And yeah, now the journey to 140 kilograms or 3 plates continues. Hope that helps. And yeah, that's all. Bye.